YouTube, what's going on and welcome back. It's J&A Exotics and we're trying something new today. I didn't want to use the green screen on the computer. It's a pain in the butt to set up. So I figured why not film in front of all these beautiful reptiles that you guys cannot see because of my camera angle and I'm covering them with my body. But we're going to get to the reptiles in a second. So today's video is going to be a reptile room tour. Even though I don't exactly have like a reptile room yet, it's more of like a reptile corner or a reptile nook. But I'm going to take you guys through all of the enclosures, show you guys what I have, and then I'm going to take the juvenile crested geckos and I'm going to move them into their adult home. And then I'm going to take my Lilly Whites and I'm going to put it into the juvenile enclosure. So, let's jump into it. Okay, first reptile up on the list is our bearded dragon. Now she's being housed in this 40-gallon enclosure. I've actually been really impressed with this enclosure. It's called EcoFlex and I bought it off of Amazon. Now there was some things wrong when I bought it. Like, I had to actually silicone the bottom, the cracks when I put it together because there were wide open gaps that, you know, substrate could have went and fell through. But other than that, I mean, other some minor modifications, the tank was relatively cheap too. I think it was like 127 bucks when I picked it up. I don't know if that was a sale price or not. But overall, I'm actually very impressed with this enclosure. They're stackable too, so I do plan on putting another one up there. So over on the right side is our hot side of the enclosure. This is where she basks, and then I have a heat gradient, so on the left side of the enclosure, that's where the cool side is. So whenever she needs to, she can get away. I have her water bowl over there, so if she's ever thirsty, though I've rarely seen her drink from the water bowl, it's there for her when she needs it. So this bearded dragon's very spoiled. She's still a juvenile, so she gets a majority of insects, but I do give her a salad every morning, and she gets kale, collard greens, butternut squash, dandelion greens, rainbow chard, arugula, escarole, bok choy. The list goes on and on. She gets, you know, bananas and such as treats, but she gets a very hearty salad every day, and obviously I vitamin and calcium dust it. But, you know, she's very healthy, she's very happy. So, just for the record, this is not the bearded dragon's forever home. Right now, this is a 40-gallon enclosure, which is not suitable for an adult bearded dragon, but this company, EcoFlex, actually makes a 120-gallon enclosure just like this, and as I mentioned before, or at least I think I mentioned it before, these enclosures are stackable, so I'm going to have the 120 on the bottom with her in it, and then the 40-gallon is going to go on top of that with another little critter, whatever. I'm in no rush to get something specific right now, but there will be something on top. Before I forget too, this is a play sand cocoa fiber mix, and when I get her adult enclosure, I want to make it a full bioactive setup for her. So, moving down on the bottom rack, first enclosure. This is the central banded geckos. Now, this is not a new build. I think I put a community post, and I know I put a short up of these guys inside of it, but this is not a new enclosure. It's not a new build. That's why I didn't make a video about it. But this was actually an enclosure. I forgot who was in here before. But regardless, this is a repurposed enclosure. I sanitized it properly, and now these guys are thriving in it. So as you guys can see, these guys are not out right now. They're not crawling around. They're sleeping. They're in their hides. I'm not going to bother them because one, it's a pain in the butt, and two, they feel secure. They feel safe. I will post a video or some footage of them up on the screen right now while I'm editing this. As far as enclosures go, this was actually a trial run for them. When they were in their old enclosure, I've always seen them climbing on the fake fern, they were climbing on the vines, and I wanted to put them in a multi-level enclosure and see if they'd utilize it. And if you guys have watched the short I posted, they utilize every square inch of this tank. They're always climbing on the background. They actually used a little hole back there as a hide. So that's just about it for these guys. There's not really much to look at, so let's jump on to the crested geckos. Okay, so let's rehome these guys. So I'm not going to ramble on about this enclosure for too long because I literally just dedicated an entire video to it and how I made it. But this is a bioactive setup and hopefully these guys enjoy the new home. Come on, get in there. So this guy right here, this is our male. He's just a normal harlequin morph. There's not really anything special about him, but still love him. Crested geckos are awesome. I feel like crested geckos are one of those lizards that everybody at least has one or two of them in their collection. Go on, girl, get in there. So this is our female. She's a Dalmatian. So when she's not fired up, she's this creamish tan color, and when she is fired up, she's this pinkish orange. So I know this isn't the best looking Lilly Whites crested gecko out there, but to me, this is my favorite crested gecko morph by far. I've always wanted one. I finally got my hands on one. I just love the way they look. So out of all the reptiles that I own, except Charizard, and you're actually not going to see Charizard today. She's in the bedroom, and our bedroom's a disaster right now. I don't want that on camera. But out of all of the reptiles that I own in their reptile corner, this is by far my favorite. Honestly, I just love Lilly Whites. I think they're incredible. So as you guys can see, the Lilly Whites is going to be housed in a 12 by 12 by 18 that the other two juveniles were just previously in. There's an expo coming up May 5th, I believe, so hopefully, fingers are crossed. It's actually up in New Hampshire. Hopefully we can get another Lilly Whites, Crested gecko, and it's a male and a female, and we can make some Lilly Whites babies happen in the future. And obviously, when these geckos are an appropriate size, I'll move them into their own 18, 18, 24. But yeah, this is all I have in the room for now. So, there you guys have it. That is my April 2024 reptile room tour. If you guys enjoyed the video, hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.